Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. It's your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive,
And Jacob Wile.
here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs as we recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So, light the jack-o'-lanterns, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we recount tonight's selection. Hey Arnold, Four-Eyed Jack. All right. Let's not go too overboard like we did in the outro last time, guys. How you guys doing?
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing all good. We're good. Just a few completely sane people chilling in an early October evening, getting started with our haunted holiday hijinks. So, Hey Arnold, classic show, iconic. I ranked it as my #1 Nickelodeon animated series when we did our 25 years of Nickelodeon retrospective a couple months ago. Guys, one of the things I love about Hey Arnold and Dragon, I believe, was it you or Mew that did the podcast about the urban mythology?
I don't think it was me.
I think that was Mew, but that was one of our early podcasts. It was a scary adventures in which we kind of like broke down what I like to call the urban mythology of Hey Arnold, where Hey Arnold has a certain quality to it where, of course it's very on surface level. It's a very kind of slice of life show, but there's a lot of deep elements to it and a lot of cool, like, subtle world building attached to it. And a lot of it has to do with these creepy episodes we get, the Pigeon Mans, the Engine 13, the Headless Cabbie, stuff like that. Stuff that really kind of just fleshes the role out. And I really appreciate about the show. But, Dragon, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is the first of the spooky Hey Arnold episodes. Please tell me I'm right about that.
No, T, I don't know, T, I could have sworn that the Engine 13 was the first spooky one they did. Then it was,
okay, so we're going in chronological order then, and this is the second one. Fair enough.
That's what I'm saying. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes, T. I think it goes that, then this, and then Halloween, or it's either Halloween or this. And the point is, I think we're on the right track.
Mm. Well, except we covered Halloween in the first seasonal shenanigans, or the first Holiday Hijinks. I'm sorry, but
I'm saying after we tackled the on the nose, like this one directly relates to us, then we go through the spooky ones. All right?
Okay, fair enough. So, guys, any nostalgia in particular attached to this episode before we dive into it? Because, of course, with Nicktoons, there's always an element of nostalgia there.
Not me personally. I kind of only got into this series recently, honestly.
It's good for a binge.
I never cut the show when I was younger.
I definitely think this is a little bit of a lighter version of Engine 13. Actually, a lot lighter version of Engine 13.
I actually think I have seen that episode, but like I said, I just never caught this series when I was younger. But I'm kind of ashamed I did. I'm kind of sad that I didn't. Like I said, I didn't really catch a lot of Nickelodeon. But now I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it's all good. I feel like Hey Arnold is definitely one of those shows that
people. The nostalgia critic needs to watch.
Oh my God, that's right. He did kind of phase. Yeah, Jesus, he does.
Yeah, he hasn't watched it.
Oh my, none of it?
Well, I mean, he saw the opening. That's all we know from that one video he did ages ago.
Right.
He's only watched the opening. He barely remembers it. So, I mean, he hasn't really watched it.
Okay. I definitely think it's a show where maybe at the moment it wasn't our favorite Nickelodeon show out of the ones they were doing, but I think looking back on it, it's one of the ones that holds up over time. It stands the test of time. It really holds up its quality. It holds up on a rewatch. There's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of different elements, a lot of moving parts that are very, very incredibly subtle, like, Phoebe and Gerald's relationship, stuff like that kind of just happen on the sidelines that aren't really openly brought attention to. And that's one of the things I really love about the show. So
kind of like an animated Bob Newhart for Nickelodeon.
Right.
Because anyway, your two animated sitcoms, so to speak, on Nickelodeon. You had Doug and you had Hey Arnold, which were kind of the slice of life, kind of like something going on. Doug was quite literally kind of in the sitcom form. We follow our main character, gets wrapped up in stuff, kind of our teenager, kind of like, the kid growing up sort of slice of life story. And Hey Arnold was a little more interesting version of that, where our main character wasn't necessarily the most interesting, but he was the straight man to all of it. We got layers from him, don't get me wrong, but I'm still saying it was all, we really got immersed in the world of Hey Arnold. Out of all the Nickelodeon shows, I think it absolutely has the most substance to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And for me, Cat Dog is kind of my banner show for Nickelodeon. It's like, when I think Nickelodeon, I kept thinking Cat Dog, because one, the color scheme was similar as a kid. Secondly, it was, there's everything was like on the nose, kind of a little bit of Abbott Costello in the corner of my mind. Otherwise, it was just really funny shenanigans, a lot of fun stunts, a lot of really hilarious kind of world building locations and stuff. Rancid Rabbit again. But this episode, if I can get it, was my brief connection to this.
Go ahead.
Same way of like, this is I do remember the spooky Hey Arnold episodes, outside the Halloween one, like Engine 13, and then you had this. And to me, the ending of this was the most memorable thing about this one. When we get kind of the reveal and then kind of the little stinger at the end, those two always. When I just think of this episode, that's why FourEyed Jack was kind of on my idea of kind of like recommendations, because not only is it kind of like probably pretty close to what would be next if we went chronological, but more so is like it's kind of the next most supernaturally kind of creepy, more kind of in tune with Halloween before we just drift off into. Eventually, we're going to run out of these, and we're just going to be like, okay, well, let's go to Hey Arnold episodes. They're just kind of like eerie in concept.
Exactly.
Like Stoop Kid and something along the lines. Like just more eerie. Like eventually, we're going to go down to doing Stoop Kid. It's like,
man and stuff like that.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe Wheeze and Ned. I think Wheeze and Ned's going to be the sign of the end. Like when we reach Wheeze and Ned's going to be okay. Well, a guy gets killed in the myth of this story, and that's pretty much.
What about the country cousin?
Well, no, that's going to be too scary. I'm not that still has substance of scariness to it. I'm saying, well, we run it. The sign that we run out is Wheeze and Ned. It's more funny than scary, but again, it's like a creepy, like it's like a way you're going on a scavenger hunt. Everyone's split up, but be careful. There might be a murder around the corner. That's going to be kind of the last stage of our kind of directly Halloween related stuff before we just.
Well, I would say the last resort, like the brick wall, would be Arnold betrays Iggy.
Oh, come on, that's not scary. That's just more.
Jacob's immediate reaction is just like, no.
Yes,
seriously, not the Iggy.
I know of that episode. Yes.
It was a disappointing episode. Again, it's like, Hey Arnold. I know every show's entitled to maybe a few, maybe not as good as the rest of them, but still, Iggy's less just kind of a letdown. It's more just really I'm disappointed in Hey Arnold when I watch it. It's like,
yeah, exactly. It's less a disappointment of an episode and more like Hey Arnold has let you down the way like a beloved child let you down.
Yeah, it's like it's
like the Pigmans found out that their beloved Wonder Boy is smoking pot. You know what I mean?
It's like Chuck being crestfallen at Jimmy, of like, oh shit. No, but seriously, it's like that one. It just feels like it's like Arnold at times in the series will be out of character. That's the most out of character he is for a whole episode. It's less Arnold, so the whole episode's out of character. It feels like this doesn't feel like Hey Arnold. I don't like this.
Yeah.
This feels very unpleasant. Anyway, moving on to happier, scarier things.
Dragon, I actually kind of this episode always, I agree the stinger's good. Like I said, I do think the creme de la creme is Engine 13. I think Engine 13 has a lot more atmosphere to it. And this one's definitely played up more kind of like the laughs and kind of the personalities, the boarding tenants and everything. But it's still a really good episode. So, Drake, you have anything else to say before we get into it?
No, these both have kind of a similar kind of quote-unquote monster MacGuffin of the episode. So we'll get to that at the end.
No, the endings of these episodes are very similar. Yeah.
Let's go forward, man.
Okay, so we start. Arnold and Gerald are having a sleepover, and they're doing what any cool kids do. They're reading The Purdy Boys.
Now, The Purdy Boys, for the kids out there in this modern era who don't know, there was a book series called The Hardy Boys. So we're basically two young men. They were friends and they solved mysteries together. These were novelized in a series of books that people would read back when that sort of thing was popular. Before now, we read graphic novels and The Walking Dead.
So nowadays, it's people are like, wait, there's books? There's physical books?
And for girls, there was
comics,
books that aren't on a computer. I'm sorry, I'm ribbon. Go ahead.
For girls, there was Jessica Drew.
Yes. And also, this kind of just was brought up to mind randomly recently. Do you guys remember the Boxcar Children?
Yes.
Sorry, what?
The Boxcar Children.
I remember that.
Why is that familiar? Boxcar.
It was another group of children that went around and solved mysteries.
I don't know. I might have heard about that. I don't know. It sounds.
And they looked at a boxcar, hence the name.
I remember the boxcar. I don't remember anything else about it though.
Technically, they're only in a boxcar for the first book.
Fair enough.
Okay, point is, this is like it's a
By
parody.
saying that, Jacob, you know more about it than I do.
Well, point is just the parody of the Pretty Boys here. This like the mirror our protagonists here, two kids that are kind of solving mysteries, and anyways, Arnold and Gerald are saying like they're picking between mysteries, and Arnold wants to start with the severed hand in the cellar, and the Gerald, I believe one of the two of them says let's do the one. Let's start with the trapped in the mansion with the undead mummies.
I think it was Arnold that wanted to do the mummy one.
Oh sure, sorry,
Yeah.
whichever order that one was in. So they're going through a box, and Arnold finds something. What does he find, Tiki?
A pair of old glasses.
Yes, and then Phil enters.
Oh boy, Phil is he's great. He's great in this episode. He's
always great. When has Phil never not been great?
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
The man food poisoned Adolf. Well, the man gave a wedgie to Adolf Hitler and then food poisoned his Nazi troops. Huh? Well, they did, and they had frowny faces instead of swastikas. That's pretty intimidating.
So, Phil definitely has a similar role in this episode that he did to Engine 13, where he's just like, oh, these kids are bored. Hey, I'll give them something to talk about.
It's like, it's like, it wouldn't be responsible of me to tell you, so I'll tell you anyway.
So he brings him milk and cookies. Again, very pleasant that Grandpa Phil. He always brings milk and cookies to the boys on a dark, stormy night. He says, it's a dark, stormy night. This reminds me. Oh, wait, he recognizes the glasses. Oh, these belong to FourEyed Jack. A lot of lightning kind of plays through the episode. Lightning after dramatic lines are said. There's random appearances every left turn.
Right.
Someone walks in the frame. Big old lightning reveal. And here's something that kind of occurred to me watching this. It never occurred to me before. I feel silly for not realizing. I mean, maybe the crux of the series, this kind of hints of this, but I like that Gerald has kind of usually been our purveyor of kind of the urban legends in the Hey Arnold universe. And basically, if anyone doesn't know the urban legend, it's usually going to be Grandpa. He knows the older legends, the ones that are before Gerald's time, the ones before just kind of what the neighbor kid's perspective was. So Grandpa, he knows a lot more of kind of the older. I just love Gerald and Grandpa are kind of the go-to guys for like kind of the old urban legends of town.
Well, don't forget, Gerald has fuzzy slippers. Fuzzy slippers is like the true person who chronicles all this stuff.
Well, I mean, again, it's like we have kind of our wealth of it. We never see fuzzy slippers. We always hear about fuzzy slippers.
I'm just saying, like fuzzy slippers.
It's like Kramer's friend Bob Sacramento from Seinfeld. We never see the guy, but we hear about him a lot.
Oh God.
Anyway, the point is, I just like that kind of like, if Gerald doesn't know this, then Grandpa knows this, So give me a cookie and I'll tell you. I just love in exchange for a cookie. I just love kind of how familiar and how bargaining Grandpa Phil is. So who wants to recount the legend?
I guess I can.
Can you?
Sure.
Go on.
Okay. FourEyed Jack did experiments in his cellar, cooking beans.
Refried beans.
Refried beans. But it's made the cellar smell horrible, and he was always going for bigger and better experiments. But one day, an experiment with a pressure cooker went wrong, and he died in the explosion.
They're basically like that eerie pressure cooker demise.
Now
not a trace.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now on rainy nights, the ghost of FourEyed Jack haunts the boarding house looking for his glasses. But he moans and bumps into things because he can't see.
Now you'll notice this is a young Pookie. This is young Arnold's grandmother in the episode here.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't? Well,
no.
Yeah, it's like the fun running gag. It's like in one of the episodes they kind of reveal that Arnold's grandma, Pookie, Pookie was she was a lot like Helga when she was young. And you'll notice like this, she's wearing the exact kind of clothing that Arnold's grandma wears, but she has blonde hair.
Okay, good catch. Honestly, that went straight over my head. I never noticed that before.
That's the intention. Wow. That's supposed to be. It's the young version of Arnold's grandma. That's what she has the blonde hair.
Well, they're both crazy, so...
Oh, God. Oh,
Yes.
Pookie.
I know, I used to love that.
We could do a whole podcast breaking down the psychology of Pookie.
I know, because when they revealed that and then rewatching the episode way back when, it's like, oh my God, it's the fact that they had the exact same relationship with, like, Arnold's grandma bullied Phil, and that's how they fell in love. You know, they bullied one alike.
Yeah.
And then that's how they met each other, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like the full circle event. So that's what's going to happen with Arnold and Helga.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so point is, no trace of FourEyed Jack after the press review. And big, something we should always highlight Hey Arnold for, especially like Engine 13, like pretty much all the urban legends, but especially the Halloween-related ones. The spooky ones. We always have kind of these in kind of our kind of run-of-the-mill kind of like, okay, it's like the slice of life type stuff in a big city neighborhood. We do have kind of the finesse of the storytelling, where it's like it has like this great kind of dramatization to it. Of like, there was a giant pressure cooker explosion. It feels really dramatic, real scary, kind of goosebumps.
I would wager to say Pigeon Man is probably the best example of that.
I mean, Tiki, I'm not a big Goosebumps guy. Would you say it's kind of a Goosebumps vibe of like kind of the way some of these turn out in the storytelling?
It depends on the Goosebumps book, but yeah, in a way, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because of like the whole, especially the connection to childhood and kids telling each other ghost stories and that kind of thing.
The old urban legend of something something went horribly wrong, and boom, and he was never seen from again. Okay, let's see.
Seriously, Pigeon Man, just really quick, probably one of the creepiest like single images in Hey Arnold is like the silhouette of the Pigeon Man in the flashback eating the worm. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so the point is the crux of the story. The main thing to take from is, Ghost is looking around, looking for his glasses, because when he was killed off, he didn't have his glasses on, and he's roaming around. He's blindly roaming. I love the idea. He's blindly, because it's like a ghostly Mr. Magoo. He's roaming the boarding house, landing in refried beans. Appropriately enough, his demise. Looking for his glasses in the dead of night, scaring the Jesus out of people when it's lightning and thundering outside. So, the questions. I'm sorry, not. Gerald questions if the place is haunted. I'm sorry, Jacob. Now's your chance here. So Grandpa says,
"What?"
Your Grandpa says to Gerald, asking like, you don't expect us to believe this place is haunted, do you?
No, that'd be responsible for me to tell you. Irresponsible for me to tell you that. But anyway.
No, but yes! Murray is like the big drag, but yes, it is haunted.
Like, no, but it's real! It's all real! I tells ya! FourEyed Jack is haunted by the ghost of FourEyed Jack!
Yep, and he warns of...
His voice, the voice there reminds me of Megavolt.
Oh, that's the great Dan Castellaneta for you.
Yeah, same
guy. Oh my God, I always forget that Dan Castellaneta is Phil.
How do you forget that he's Phil?
I don't know. Because it's just so different from Homer, and Homer is obviously like his iconic role.
Well, what about he's the Jolly Ollie Man too, right?
Well, sure, but I haven't even seen a Jolly Ollie Man episode in some time. But anyways.
Man, the Jolly Ollie Man's the most psychotic. You gotta watch those. Anyway, especially his last one, the last Jolly Ollie Man episode is the craziest he ever went. Anyway, let me see. Right, so Grandpa, importantly plot-wise, he warns Arnold that by moving the glasses, the spirit is disturbed. Gerald's very skeptical. He is throughout the whole episode. He's skeptical. Like, there's no ghost. He's being silly. But Arnold questions, and classic Arnold says, kind of lingering on things. He's ruminating upon it. Arnold questions if maybe it's Arnold's, maybe this is kind of destiny. Maybe Arnold's supposed to, he found these glasses and returned the Jack, kind of put the spirit at ease, which we've seen many times in ghost stories, you kind of put them at peace so they can, go upstairs, go downstairs,
And I really like the whole, like, again, I'm sorry for all the comparisons to Engine 13, but I do think it's a good kind of mirror episode to that, but a bit lighter. But again, I really like the sense of childhood nostalgia that we get here with this ghost story, where it's like, okay, now we've got something to kind of like, raise the hairs on the back of our neck a little bit, like kind of like question the bumps in the floor and stuff like that. I don't know. Man, I miss that kind of shit,
Grandpa suggests they pray for mercy as Phil prays for raspberry, for the raspberry cobbler his grandma made him. As he's contending with that the whole episode, contending with that raspberry cobbler.
Yes, yes.
Then we have lightning exit.
Jacob, you want to take us through some of this?
No, you guys go ahead. I'm kind of on the sidelines here. I just watched this.
Okay, so Gerald suggests Oscar's, maybe they're Oscar's glasses. Just the lamest excuse Gerald comes up with. Maybe they're Oscar out of all never wears glasses.
Right.
He doesn't throw at Mr. Wynn. He doesn't throw at doesn't throw at Harlans Grandma. Just maybe it's Oscar's. This is the show again. He is skeptical, but you know what? Doesn't necessarily mean he's right. I like they're kind of making that. He's mostly kind of afraid. I don't want to look into it. I don't want to worry about a ghost.
Basically, just grabbing at straws, trying to convince Arnold, just let me sleep.
Yep. Arnold hears a bump, and this leads to exploration. Again, Gerald, throughout the whole thing, he's skeptical and unhappy as they go on a ghost hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So we hear creaks in the floors. They're going downstairs, kind of walking down the hallway. We also hear marital issues with Oscar and Susie.
That happens all the time, though. It's not really new.
No, I know, but it's like I never get over how dark it is.
And tonight's marital issue is brought to you by Rock Soup and Chocolate Ears. Get your Tyson on. So basically, there's a. Okay, no, but seriously, there's a.
Sorry, that's great.
They're arguing about a racetrack fight. It's basically about Oscar going to the racetrack. And we know obviously he did. We didn't see. We have no proof of this, but I can assume that Oscar has gone to the racetrack.
No, Susie, I went to apply for a job that's by the racetrack.
It's like when you rewatch it, do you hear Tommy Wiseau in the back of your mind when you see the Oscar scenes?
Yes, always, yes.
That's just now occurred to me when you did that impression. Wait a minute. His is going to sound a little like Tommy Wiseau.
No, that's the thing now. Because the thing with Oscar is that he was also like vaguely Eastern European. Tommy Wiseau is vaguely Eastern European.
He had a bit of Russian, bit of Russian Jewish in him. It's a bit of kind of a.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Ernie.
Ernie, my friend, listen. Can I borrow money?
I love Susie. You know she is my future wife. All right. We could go down a
all right. Baby Oscar, he looks like me.
Oh God.
So anyway,
wow, that was a tangent.
Point is, having a fight about the racetrack. I love that Susie's off screen there this whole thing, but she's present in the scene. I do like it. She's listening from the other side. She's like constantly. Again, I love the running gag. It's been ever since they introduced the borders in the episode where Gerald goes by Arnold's boarding house, which I assume is pretty early on, where basically Susie's throwing things at Oscar when he's like telling him to get collecting rent, telling him to be at dinner, all that stuff. Just they're always throwing stuff at you. No, not Oscar's not throwing stuff. He's the dumb husband. It's always Susie throwing the stuff at Oscar.
Like Oscar and Susie, and then Miriam's alcoholism are two examples of just really like real world shit being thrown into this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. So the boys tell Oscar about the ghost. I am not the least bit superstitious. And we hear Susie from the other side. You carry a horseshoe in your pants. Don't mock my family traditions.
Oh dear.
I don't want to know of any tradition that involves horseshoes in your pants.
Oh yeah, it's for luck, Jacob. It's for luck.
Well, I know, but you don't carry it in your pants.
Where else would you carry it?
Well, some people have it on their necklace, in their pocket, but not in their pants.
Well, pockets are in pants.
No, that's on the pockets. He kept it in his. He had to pull up in his pants.
It's a sexual innuendo.
Anyway,
how's your sex life? I'm sorry, I'm done.
now you infuse this innocent little horseshoe gag with so much innuendo and horseshoe. That's a symbol for something. Maybe the marriage is not in trouble as foretold. Or maybe it's tearing a rift in the. Anyway, moving on. So they don't mock my family traditions. Anyway, they move on. They hear a weird noise, and as the conversation's got to stop for a moment, stop! Let me go along with you. Very scared Oscar. He wants to join. He's like, don't leave me alone out here. So now Oscar's involved in the ghost hunt. Next stop, I love the architecture of this, by the way. That we This does fit with the geography of the house we've been accustomed to. Basically, the boarding house, to my recollection, there's a basement where FourEyed Jack met his demise.
Right.
Basement. There is the kind of the main kitchen / kind of living room, living area, I guess. Top floor where the boarders live, and then the top level is where Arnold's room, because it's skylight. One is we go from Arnold's room to kind of the borders hallway, which all the borders are. Again, it's a really great kind of little, you go from point A to point B, but make your way all the way downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, so then we would go down to our next stop, who logically would be Ernie.
And Ernie greets them. They're like, "We're just wondering what you're doing." I love Ernie. Just like, it's none of your business.
I like that. Arnold's apologizing. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. Potts.
About that.
He initially turns him away, and then this is something I noticed on rewatching this after many, many years. It's been a while since I watched this one in particular.
Oh dear.
I tell you, Gerald, for the guy who doesn't want to pursue this, if he just stops opening his big mouth before the scene ends, Arnold's about to hang up the chair and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Potts. We were looking." He's not. Arnold's not even going to tell him what it is. To my recollection, he's about to say, "Okay, well, I'm sorry. We'll stop. Don't mean to bother you this time."
See, Arnold, there is no ghost.
And the minute Gerald says that, then Ernie gets involved, and the hunt goes on because he can't keep his mouth shut. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. So then Ernie, who has apparently encountered specters in the past, offers some advice about the unknown.
Right.
You had a run-in with the unknown once. He suggests that they turn back now, but he reluctantly admits to hearing sounds, like confirms kind of like maybe a ghost. And they're hearing that. I heard these horrible noises coming from downstairs, and they hear the gargling saying, "Yeah, that's the noise."
I like, but I just like how Ernie mentions that, like I once tried to do it. What happened? Nothing, but something horrible could have happened.
Yeah, it's like he almost something almost bad happened. That is such an eerie warning, though. Don't you think? Someone told you, yeah, something bad almost happened.
Yeah.
After all, it is the unknown.
Yeah, you don't know. That's why it's the unknown. Just real quick random tangent, real quick.
Go ahead.
I was watching a Rugrats episode recently, and I remember Chuck and Kev having this runner as a news anchor. His tagline, the thing he kept saying, is parroting the real life news, like, "Nobody knows." Nobody knows.
I remember that.
Just saying, Phil says this about Lil says this about Lil. When we find more later, nobody knows. Anyway, sorry, I just want to move on. So again, the unknown. Okay, they're going on now. Ernie's involved in the ghost hunt now. They're pursuing their ghostly lead, and he brings the old equalizer. Now he means business. Bring the old equalizer, which I love that he carries it around. Like, it looked like a king at first, like in his pants. Again, people like to carry mystical objects to fight ghosts with in their pants.
Apparently.
So now armed with.
Makes them feel safe.
He's now armed with kind of his mallet, his mini mallet. Ernie goes first because this could get ugly, and again he is armed with a mallet, so something got in first. Lightning reveals, dun, 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 gargling figure. Who is
Mr. Wynn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jacob.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I like Mr. Wynn.
Well, I mean, there's a big reason why we all love Mr. Wynn, but we won't gush over that now.
I'm saying aside from the emotional stuff, I think he's
of course.
Mr. Wynn is very funny.
He is, and it's kind of funny how he's just started out as like just this comical side character, and then we've already been over that. Been over that.
Point is, he's gargling in the kitchen at night, just randomly. He apologizes. I'm sorry, Arnold apologized on behalf of the group to Mr. Wynn. Thought he was a ghost, and then he jumps on the crusade because I don't like ghosts. They're very creepy.
They're very creepy.
Again, that was always my favorite runner. Whenever I just do a bad impersonation of Mr. Wynn, I always go with very creepy. He's very creepy. I don't know if it started here or not, but I just love that he always has kind of that little. He's like the C line in a scene. He's always kind of like that little the line that you need someone in the background to have a really funny line. He's the one saying, "Oh, it's very creepy." He always repeats that same line over and over, whatever the line is of the episode. It's like, "Oh, it's very scary, very stinky." It's like whatever, very something.
Right.
Catchphrase. I love that. I don't know if it started here, but it's just really appropriate. It's also got a little bit of good animation on here. Usually we don't spend a lot of time on the animation of the very something or other. It's very creepy, a little comical. Yeah. Well, like the spine tingling cartoon effect on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's next. Window flies open. Demonic lightning. Red lighting outside. Lightning going on, swirling newspapers into a tornado ghost, and then it dissipates. So that was weird. Mr. Wynn suggests an offering because if that's not proof of a ghost, I don't know what is. Because
that is definitely outside of the ending, the most supernatural thing that happens.
And again, I like that it is kind of like a POV thing. You got a question. Again, it does seem like
it all has to do with the lighting, right? It could just be the wind blowing the papers around. But
however, the electricity does throw me off though. That electricity seems a little more than a coinky dink.
That's true. That's true.
There's a lot of electricity that swirls the papers together and then it just all disappears. Eerie. So let's see. So then Mr. Wynn suggests before they continue on the journey, maybe an offering. They opens the fridge. Says, no, not the chicken. I'm going to save that for later. This is Mr. Wynn. He then grabs the fish. Thankfully, now an item to fight ghost that was not kept in his pants.
Thank God. Thank God.
Thankfully, Mr. Wynn does not carry a fish in his pants. So,
oh dear.
Armed with a fish. Gerald voices the craziness of all this now that a man is armed with a fish to fight ghosts. And Jack Fenton, I think Jack Fenton somewhere in Danny Phantom would be proud of this, of using a fish so economically for fighting ghosts. But I can't speak for Egon Spengler. Point is,
perfect for slapping ghosts.
God, that's great. So Gerald voices the craziness of all. This is insane. This is ridiculous. Then the lights go. All the lights go out because randomly in blackouts because of the lightning and the storms and stuff. All but one light is on. We see kind of the crack of a door. They open the door and they discover. And this is where the episode really picks up to my the ending. I really like. I love the secret passageway. We don't really have a good kind of haunted mystery sort of thing without a secret passageway. We see a secret passageway with a lantern behind coats.
Right. It's very kind of like Winchester Mystery House-esque. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. And I really like this. Really, at this point forward, this does kind of fully solidify, goes full circle. The boys kind of becoming the two kids from the mystery novels.
Right, exactly.
They become the again. I'm telling you, Purdy Boys has to be a dirty joke. Come on, Purdy Boys. Those Purdy Boys. Those.
Oh man,
Purdy Boys getting the shenanigans. They're solving mysteries. They're going through skeletons and closets. My skeletons in my closets. Anyway, so those Purdy Boys getting into other people's business.
Okay. Oh God.
No. It's an absurd name, the Purdy Boys. I'm sorry, it's really ridiculous.
Okay.
Anyway, so points: 3 boarders armed with, I repeat, a horseshoe, a fish, and a small mallet. Follow a 9-year-old boy with a lantern down a creepy passageway in your local boarding house. They hear, they hear groaning, and it smells really bad downstairs. I love the payoff of this, by the way. It smells really bad downstairs, and we have the door with what I like to describe as poltergeist lighting all over the place. And so poltergeist lighting behind the door, really bright, intense blue light.
Sure, yeah.
So before opening the door, Gerald tries to. I'm sorry, do you want to taste or any of this? The Gerald thing.
No, go ahead.
Gerald avoids. Gerald tries to avoid being wrong. Arnold, you don't have to open that door. Well, why? Well, if you open that door, someone's going to be. There might be something behind there. Someone's going to be wrong. let's go without knowing. So, point is, Gerald's terrified, and he's also a little skeptical. I don't want to be wrong. So, point is, door is opened. And I love Arnold's kind of half-lidded eye roll. It's not an eye roll, but it's he goes half-lidded, it's kind of the cheaper eye roll of Gerald. Opens the door, drops the lantern, big dramatic. Again, everyone's getting scared left and right by just sudden appearances and lightning in this episode. Again, eerie eye lighting. I love the poltergeist eyes on the grandpa and silhouette here. Really nice. Again, it's supposed to look like FourEyed. What?
I can actually pull that up.
Oh, sure. Again, I really do like that. It's very kind of. It looks like FourEyed Jack in a way, again with the kind of these spectacled eyes. Way. So let's see. So we're gonna open the door, reveal your lightning, poltergeist eyes. It's Grandpa. Well, not from that. That scene was much earlier, but it's.
Well, it still kind of gets the point across. I'm sorry.
Boy, there's a lot of eerie lighting.
It's Grandpa with eerie lighting. Ooh.
Now we have the visage of the dark future for Grandpa Phil. Man, that's really dark stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, so
pasta.
yep, he gives Grandpa gives very good advice upon his. Again, most people say like "boo" or like "ah, get out of here," or when there's like an eerie reveal. Grandpa he offers very helpful advice. Boys never eat raspberry.
Never eat raspberries.
Yep. So when it's revealed that downstairs, the secret passageway, it is a path that leads to the downstairs bathroom.
Mm-hmm. This is great.
And this is what I love about the reveal. I love that it's like all this eerie stuff builds up to this really kind of very kind of mundane thing. It's like it's a nice secret. It's a really nice secret bathroom.
No, it is a really nice bathroom. I really appreciate it.
It's basically nicer than the rest of the house.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you remember that was really old. He really kept this place up. I mean, probably had it remodeled and stuff. I don't know. It looks really top line. For not by '90s standards.
You know what I kind of like you did too? I'm sorry, this is a weird analogy, but it's like every theme park I've gone to, there's at least like that one bathroom that nobody else goes to, and it's like, in the corner of the park, and it's like that's the one bathroom that you can actually go to in peace. All right, I'm sorry.
George Costanza spent his life looking for these perfect bathrooms.
God bless the perfect bathroom.
He's always on the quest for the perfect bathroom.
Oh dear. Oh man.
Seinfeld little tidbit for the deep cut Seinfeld fans, especially coming from Mr. Robot fandom.
Anyways,
kind of a cross breeding of fandoms. Anyway, so and I love this though. He's like, it's a secret bathroom. He says, wonder when use it now. And then he sees, oh great, now this is my favorite bit.
Yeah,
great, now the secret's out. Like, sort of ticked off, and now the secret's and all the kind of the using borders like, hey, you've been holding out on us, Gramps, and they're fine. They're going inside the place. The Grandpa should agree, like, oh well, now secrets have my private space.
They're even impressed. I love how Ernie's even impressed by the towel holders.
Well, Tiki, those are top line towel holders by 90s.
I know. It's like every detail counts, right?
Yeah, I mean, there might be some ice, maybe some ceramic tiling in there. I don't know.
Oh god.
Again, it has many good bathroom features too. Anyway, so there's no ghost. Everyone's going back upstairs. Gerald suggests they finally get some sleeping, and kind of our skeptical Bud Abbott figure, if you will. It's like, okay, well, there's no ghost, just silly. Goes upstairs to find quite the contrary. So Arnold, and this is what I love before we get to that payoff.
Mm-hmm.
I love, again, classic Arnold fashion. We have this moment where Arnold lingers on it. He's holding the glasses, he lingers, and he hits the lights. That moment that he lingers there, just thinking, was it all false? I mean, there's no proof of it, but I feel that something's off. I feel Gerald's not right. He doesn't make a big fuss about it, goes upstairs. And we have our ending. And I love it's an ending that can never be substantiated, but kind of gives everyone some closure off screen that we don't see. Like, gives little Arnold some closure and some vindication there, but the fact that it's a nice creepy ending that kind of screams just right for Halloween, but also very similar to Engine 13, just not as musically inclined.
Mm.
No accordions here. So, ending, we have a POV shot, and I love how this is shot, but we're kind of looking at how it's animated, of
the glasses just floating on their own and kind of like coming in place.
Yep, and then we're through the perspective of the eerie glasses, and then and this is really pleasant of this ghost, by the way, of the FourEyed Jack here. He was a border. He seems to be a nice guy. I guess maybe he's a kid guy. I don't know. Maybe he likes kids. So he finds the glasses. He puts the blanket on Jared. A little cold on the couch there. Puts the blanket, which is nice, and then he just kind of waits. I love he's kind of a friendly ghost. Think about it, Arnold. If you really want to look at
what
the ghost.
Ghost, yes. And what's kind of nice is that Arnold, in the end, now I think about it, I'm sorry, discovering says I'm talking about it, he is kind of vindicated because he did bring FourEyed Jack closure with those glasses in a way.
That's true.
That's why it's not like spooky kind of going around. Maybe it suggests that FourEyed Jack caused that little swirly tornado thing. So he's happy looking for the glasses. Point is, Gerald awakens. He rubs his eyes. It always stays in my mind, Tiki, the way he rubs his eyes like that, because we've all kind of been there like, what? Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing?
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's FourEyed Jack there in his ghostly kind of green glory. With a smile on his face.
Boo.
And then there was, as Jack leaves.
Yeah. Okay, and that was it. Very, very fun episode.
It's definitely.
just go around with final thoughts, starting with Jacob.
Like I said, this episode doesn't hold much nostalgia for me because this is actually the first time I ever actually watched the episode, to be honest.
Well,
I believe I have
Arnold,
seen.
so what was your kind of initial impressions with it then?
I like that. I like the episode. I personally think that Arnold's Halloween is a better episode personally, but this is still a decent episode as far as like atmosphere, like tension building up to something hilarious.
Definitely.
But not particularly memorable episode of the series, but still a good one.
Yeah. Dragon?
I like it. It's understated, it's quiet, it's a nice little story with kind of a memorable button form. It's always kind of had that effect. I just love the kind of if you're gonna have like a reveal that there was no ghost, or like seemingly there was no ghost for a moment. That's the way to do it. You make it funny. You make it kind of have some roots in like the secret passageway to a bathroom. That's where the noises are coming around, the smells and everything comes from. Again, it's where you kind of again, it makes sense of making it. He's obsessed with refried beans.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you see some logic in. Okay, that's why they thought there was a ghost and everything. And at the end, though, you do get your faith is rewarded a little bit. And it's it's fun. It also has a really great shot at the end where it's like you have that poltergeist lighting as all the lights come on per Gerald screaming. So again, it's a nice little episode. It's a nice understated spooky episode of Hey Arnold, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but make comparisons between this and Engine 13 because I feel like structurally they're very similar to each other. Because it's like, you build up the mythology in the beginning, and then it's kind of like a series of like, oh, this is happening, but wait, it's actually this and this. But no, I mean, I definitely think it's a more comedic kind of yin to the yang of Engine 13, if you will. Engine 13 is more I'd say Engine 13 is definitely like inherently scarier than this episode is. Like I can still watch Engine 13 and get legitimately creeped out, especially at the scene where they're waiting at the train station, but I won't dwell on that. But like I said, this is a lot more comedic, definitely the boarders kind of get to showcase their personalities a lot, which is appreciated, and just overall really good. Dragon, like you said, I think the most memorable thing about it is the stinger at the end, for sure. And, Hey Arnold's good at that. They're good at kind of leaving these kind of ambiguous, open-ended kind of endings for their spooky episodes. So
We should probably go through kind of our spooky kind of Halloween tropes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think there's a ton of them, but
we have ghosts first and foremost.
Of course, there's the artifact that the ghost wants, I guess.
Yeah, there was kind of the eerie legend.
Perhaps the sleepover.
Yep, the setting, definitely with the lightning and a lot of lightning.
Secret passageways.
Yes, secret passageways, absolutely. The armaments, the various ridiculous armaments.
Right.
Foreign customs.
Let's see.
Fake foreign customs.
Yeah.
You're right about foreign customs, though. Yeah, it's good too. But also death, big.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
fake out ending, almost.
Yeah.
Well, semi-fake out ending.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, again, it's not a lot, but it's pretty.
How about like fake out ending turned true kind of thing?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like you're led to believe that was all false, and then it actually turned out to be true.
I'd say that'd be like a reverse fake out, which is fine.
Here's one ghost moment.
Ghost. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it then. Well, folks, our spirits grow weary, but don't worry. They'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks. Maniacal laugh. Every raspberry.